students, once again, welcome to our program Aprender y Estudar en Casa. As always, my name is Edson Horta and I will be your teacher for your English classes of the 9th grade. Remember, we are living a pandemic with COVID-19, so it's very important for you to follow the 3 simple rules. Wear your masks, practice social distancing, and wash your hands. All right, students, in today's lesson, we are going to talk about directions. How can you give and ask for directions, and how can you use the prepositions of movement to do that? Okay, let's go. So after today's lesson, you will be able to, like I said, ask and give directions, and also identify and use the prepositions of movement. Before we start, what are the prepositions of movement? Let's see what the prepositions of movement are and how can we use them. Well, students, prepositions of movement, they show, like the name says, movement from one place to another place. They always describe movement, and they usually are used with verbs of motion. All right, students, so that's how we use the preposition of movement. They are used to describe movement from one place to another place. They talk about that movement, and they are used with verbs that show you motion, okay? But first, before we start with the prepositions of movement, let's see what are the verbs of motion. Let's go. Verbs of motion, they are verbs that show movement in the English language. As an example of verbs of motion, we have the first one. Run is one of the verbs of motion. As you can see in the image, you have a man, and this man is running. It shows movement. The second verb of motion is walking, and in the image, you have a lady walking with her dog in the park. Another verb of motion is rolling. In this picture, you have a circle that is rolling down, so rolling, motion. And the last verb of motion that we have as an example is spinning. You have the toy, and this toy is spinning, like you're seeing in the image. Okay, students, that was the explanation and examples of verbs of motion and how we can use them. Now let's start with our lesson. And we start with our lesson with the preposition of movement. We have several prepositions of movement. We have into, out of, on, off, around, up the stairs, and down the stairs. There are a lot of prepositions of movement, students, much more than those that we are visiting today. But for this case, this particular class, we decided to focus only on those that you see on the board, all right? Without further ado, let's start our lesson. Let's take a look at these pictures, students. The first one, you have a mouse and you have a box. And look at the movement. Where is the mouse going? The mouse is going into the box. Look at that movement. The mouse is going into the box. In the second picture, you have the same mouse and the same box, but a different movement. Now the mouse is not going into the box, but the mouse is going out of the box. That was the first example of the prepositions of movement, into and out of. You have the same mouse and the same box, but 2 different movements. In the first picture, the mouse is going into, and in the second, the mouse is going out of. All right? Let's continue. Now we have 3 different prepositions that show 3 different movements. In the first preposition, you have the frog is on the box. All right? So the frog is doing, look at the movement. The frog is going to be on top of the box. All right? Now on the second picture, you have the same frog and the same box, but a different movement. Now the frog is on the box, but what is he going to do? What is his next movement? He's going to be off the box, all right? So, like in the first picture, you have the same frog, the same box, but different movements. In the first movement, you have on, and in the second movement, you have off. Pay attention to the arrows that show you the movement. In the last picture, you have a cat, it's a different animal, the same box, and also a different movement. Once again, look at the movement that the arrow is doing. The cat is going around the box, all right? This is a different movement, around the box, all right? Okay, students, those were 3 more prepositions of movement, on, off, and around. Don't forget, look at the arrows that are showing you what is the movement that the animals are doing, okay? Let's continue with our next prepositions of movement. The next prepositions that we have are up the stairs and down the stairs. Once again, pay attention to the picture and look at the arrow that is describing you the movement. So in the first picture, you have Miguel. What is Miguel doing? Where is Miguel going? Miguel is going up the stairs. Look at the movement. He's going up. In the second picture, you don't have Miguel, you have Sarah. And Sarah is also doing a different movement from Miguel. She's not going up the stairs, she's going down the stairs, all right? Look at the arrows to show you what movement they are doing. Okay, students, those were the different prepositions that show movement. But now we're going to continue our lesson with another topic. Now we're going to see how do you ask and how do you give directions. First, how do you ask for directions? Let's see. In the first sentence, we have the following. Excuse me, how do I get to the? Yes, students, the first sentence, excuse me, how do I get to the, is one example of how we ask for directions. Let me give you a practical example. Excuse me, how do I get to the market? You want to know which direction you are going to take to go to the market, or how to get to the market. But it's not only that sentence. We have several ones that you can use to ask for directions. Let's see the others. In the second sentence, you have, once again, excuse me, where's the? Excuse me, where is the? Another practical example. Excuse me, where is the post office? Excuse me, where is the post office? Remembering once again that we are asking for the direction of the post office. Let's continue. Excuse me, is there a near here? Excuse me, is there a near here? All right, students, excuse me, is there a restaurant near here? Excuse me, is there a restaurant near here? What you want to know with this sentence is if there is a restaurant around this area, near where you are at the moment, okay? Let's continue. And in the last sentence, you have, once again, excuse me, can you tell me the way to the? Excuse me, can you tell me the way to the? And in the last sentence, you are asking to know the way to a specific place. For example, excuse me, can you tell me the way to the square? Excuse me, can you tell me the way to the square? Meaning, which way is the square, okay? Which way do I take to go to the square, okay? Now that we have seen what expressions you use when you are asking for directions, let's see the opposite. When you're asking these questions, how do you give directions? Let's go. So, when you are giving directions, these are the expressions that you use for that. Turn left, turn right, go straight ahead, go past, or cross. Yes, students, those are the expressions that you use when you are the one giving directions to someone that is asking, okay? Turn left, turn right, go straight ahead, go past or cross. Okay, but you cannot use these to give directions without the proper prepositions of place. Now let's see which prepositions of place we can use with these expressions to give directions. Let's go. So the prepositions of place are the following: at the corner of, next to, opposite, and between. Okay, students, so on the board you have the different prepositions of place that we use with giving directions, expressions, okay? So in the first one you see at the corner of. So you see the letter A. The letter A is showing you a corner, okay? So when a place, a market, a library, the school, the park, the supermarket, the drugstore, all right, is located at the corner, you say at the corner of, like where in the image the letter A is. The second preposition of place that we use with giving directions is next to. As you have in the image, you have the letter A and the letter B, and the letter A is next to the letter B. So we use this expression next to when you have two places that are next to each other, like you have in the picture. The next preposition of place that we have is the opposite expression. Opposite is when you have two places, two buildings that are opposite to each other. That means they are face to face and they are separated by a street, for example. Okay, so imagine that in the letter A you have a pharmacy and in the letter B is a square, the letter. The next preposition of place that we have is opposite. Once again, in the picture you have two letters. You have the letter A and you have the letter B. Now, the letter A and the letter B, they are opposite to each other. We usually use this preposition of place, opposite, when we have two buildings that are face to each other and separated by a street, for example. All right? A practical example. Imagine that the letter A is a square and letter B is a pharmacy. So the pharmacy is opposite to the square. That means it's on the other side of the street and they are face to face, okay? The last preposition of place that we use is between. Now, pay attention to the picture. You have now three letters. You have A, B, and C, okay? And the letter B is between letter A and the letter C. So between is when something is in the middle of two things, all right? Imagine that in the letter A you have a school, in the letter B you have a library, and in the letter C you have a park, for example. So the library is between the school and the park, all right? So we use between when something is in the middle of two things, okay? Let's continue our lesson. Next, we have practical examples. So let's see some practical examples using the prepositions of place to give direction. This is a dialogue, and the dialogue reads, "Excuse me, how do I get to the library from here?" Excuse me, how do I get to the library from here? Turn right on this street and then go straight ahead. The library is next to the post office. Turn right on this street and then go straight ahead. The library is next to the post office. In the second dialogue, we have the following. "Excuse me, is there a restaurant near here?" Excuse me, is there a restaurant near here? Yes, go past the market, cross the street and turn left. The restaurant is opposite the bus station. Yes, go past the market, cross the street, and turn left. The restaurant is opposite the bus station. Okay, students, those two examples were some practical examples of how to use the prepositions of place to give directions. Now we are going to do some exercise about today's topic. Let's go. All right, students, now we are going to do some exercises about today's topic, giving directions. What you have on the board is a map, and in this map you have some places around town. Well, the exercise is very easy. You are going to read the sentences and say if they are true or false. All right, let's read the sentences. Follow me. Sentence number 1. The school is at the corner of Lombard Street. The school is at the corner of Lombard Street. Sentence number 2. The restaurant is opposite to the supermarket. The restaurant is opposite to the supermarket. Number 3. The museum is next to the supermarket. The museum is next to the supermarket. Sentence number 4. The town hall is across the street from the bus station. The town hall is across the street from the bus station. Sentence number 5. The post office is opposite to the theater. Sentence number 5. The post office is opposite to the theater. Well, students, there you have it. Those were the 5 sentences that you have to say if they are true or false. Remember, look at the map and read the sentences. See if what the sentences are saying are true or false. All right, students, we are back, and now we're going to see if you did the exercises correctly. Let's go. Now, the first sentence was, the school is at the corner of Lombard Street. Is it true or false? Yes, you are correct. It is false. The second sentence, the restaurant is opposite to the supermarket. Yes, it is true. The third sentence, the museum is next to the supermarket. You're right once again, that sentence is also true. The fourth sentence, the town hall is across the street from the bus station. Exactly, it is false. And sentence number 5, the post office is opposite to the theater. And the last sentence is true. Well, there you have it, students. That was the exercise for today's lesson. All right, students, after the exercises of today's lesson, you know it. You have some homework from today's class to our next class. In this homework, you have, again, a town map with places around town located in it. Let's see what you need to do. In your homework, you need to look at the map and circle the correct option. Read the sentences and circle the correct option. Sentence number 1. The bank is next to or opposite the police station. Which one is the correct option? Next to or opposite? Read the sentence, look at the map, and circle. Sentence number 2. The hospital is across the street or at the corner from the movie theater. All right? So, which one is the correct option? Cross the street or at the corner from? Read the sentence, look at the map, and circle the correct option. Sentence number 5. The school is in front of or next to the restaurant. Once again, look at the map, see the sentence, read the sentence, and say which one is the correct option. Circle the correct option. Sentence number 4. The train station is opposite or past the school. Once again, you have to do the same thing. Read the sentences, look at the map, and circle the correct option. Sentence number 5, the drugstore is across the street or between the police station and the movie theater. Where is the drugstore located? Is it across the street or between the police station and the movie theater? Once again, look at the map and circle the correct option. Well, students, there you have it. That was today's homework for our next class. But we are not finished yet. Let's review what we learned in today's class. All right, students, we're back, and now we're going to do a review of the prepositions of movement. We're going to do the review of the prepositions of movement that you learned today using this toy. All right, this is a train that is on its track. Okay, so now the train is going up the track and into, look here, the train is going into the tunnel. Okay, after the train goes into the tunnel, it goes out of the tunnel. All right, the train was into the tunnel and now it's going out of the tunnel. Okay, so these were the two prepositions of movement, into and out of. All right, now we continue with the prepositions of movement and review. The train is now on the track. Look, the train is on the track. Okay, and now the train is off the track. Okay? I'm going to repeat it once again. All right? So the train is on the track, and now the train is off the track. All right? So those were the two prepositions, on and off. We continue with the preposition around. And for that, we're going to use this globe. Okay? We still have our train, and now the train is going around the globe. Okay? This is the preposition of movement, around. The train is going around the globe. Okay? All right. Now, we don't have stairs to show you the movement up the stairs or down the stairs. And for that, we are going to use the pictures that we used in the beginning of this lesson. So the pictures up the stairs and down the stairs. You have the examples. Miguel is going up the stairs. Remember, look at the arrow. Look at the movement that Miguel is doing. Miguel is going up the stairs. And Sarah is doing the opposite movement. Sarah is not going up the stairs, but she is going down the stairs. All right? So students, if you still have any doubts after today's lesson, don't forget to consult the link that you have, the references. You're going to see this lesson and you will clarify all your doubts. All right, students, that was another episode of your program Aprender y Estudar em Casa. As always, my name is Edson Horta and I'm your English teacher for the 9th grade. Remember, stay safe, practice your English, and be well. See you in our next class.